You're born in the Greenland Sea, somewhere between Iceland and the edge of the known world, year 1000, give or take. You're already bigger than every ship the Vikings have ever built, and you haven't finished growing. Your name is Lyngbakr, Old Norse. It means heather back, not because you chose it, because heather, a stubby purple plant that grows on cold northern moors, is going to grow on you, on your actual body. And that name will become the worst thing about your life, but that comes later. Right now, you're a calf. Massive, smooth-skinned, surfacing through Arctic pack ice and water cold enough to kill a human in minutes. The Greenland Sea is 2 degrees warmer than it will be in 1,000 years. The medieval warm period. Vikings are sailing these waters looking for new land, new fights, new gods to argue about. They don't know you exist yet. Nobody does. But something else in this water does. A pod of chariot whales appears from the north. That's what the Norse call them, Vangvalor. You'd call them orcas, 60 of them, moving in formation. They've been documented killing adult blue whales in under an hour, biting off fins, tearing tongues, leaping on top of their prey to force it under and drown it. You're bigger than a blue whale and still growing, but 60 is 60. They hit you from 3 sides. Teeth rake your tail. 2 orcas clamp onto your pectoral fin and pull in opposite directions, trying to tear it off. One launches itself onto your back, 4 tons of apex predator slamming down on you, forcing your head beneath the waves. You can't breathe. Another one grabs your lower jaw and drags it open, while a third dives for your tongue. That's their move. Tear out the tongue. Let the whale bleed out. You thrash. Roll. Your sheer mass creates a pressure wave that scatters the formation. You dive hard, dropping below their hunting depth before they regroup. They circle the surface for 20 minutes, then leave, looking for something easier to kill. You survive. This time. But the real enemy isn't teeth. It's time. And what time is about to do to your body? Skip forward 100 years. You're still growing. You haven't stopped. And your back is changing? First it was kelp, drifting strands catching on your rough skin and holding. Then barnacles, thousands of them, cementing themselves into your hide with calcium anchors, each one growing its own hard shell. A healthy humpback whale carries 450 kilograms of barnacles. You carry tons. Then came the whale lice. 7,500 on a normal whale. On you, colonies. Cities of them crawling through every fold of your skin, feeding on your tissue, breeding in your wounds. Then driftwood, seabird droppings, soil. Then the heather started growing. Calluna vulgaris, the tiny purple plant that covers every moor and hillside in the cold north. Its roots push into the rot accumulated on your back. It spreads, thickens. Within decades, your back looks like a small island. Rocky ridges, sand, hollows. Heather waving in the ocean wind. Sailors passing in the distance see you and mark the position on their charts. A new island, they think. Nobody has bothered to land on it yet. But someone will. And that's when everything goes wrong. Skip forward. The year is roughly 530. A monk named Brendan and his crew are sailing from Ireland across the North Atlantic, looking for the promised land. They've been at sea for weeks. Their food is running low, their faith is strong, their navigation is terrible. They spot your back rising from the water. An island, flat, covered in green. They land, unload supplies, build a fire, start cooking. One of them kneels on the heather and prays. Another hammers a stake into what he thinks is earth. The stake punctures through root, soil, and rot and hits flesh. Your flesh. You flinch. The ground beneath them trembles. They grab each other. Earthquake, maybe. It stops. They go back to cooking. Then the fire reaches you. It starts as warmth, then sharpening. The heather catches. Flames eat down through soil and roots into your actual skin. The pain is blinding. You do the only thing your body knows. You dive. The monks scream as the ground drops beneath them. The ocean swallows the fire, the supplies, the prayers. Some of them grab driftwood, some don't. The water closes over everything. From below, you watch the debris settle. Heather torn from your back floats on the surface like scattered flowers. You didn't want this. You weren't hunting. You were just existing. Being what you are. And now men are dead because they made a fire on a living thing and didn't know it. Centuries later, a monk in a scriptorium will write this story down and call you Jasconius the Great Fish. And in that story, you will be recast as a symbol of the devil. A living trap designed to lure sinners to hell. You're not the devil. You're a whale with a garden growing on its back. But nobody asks the island what it thinks. Skip forward again. 500 years. And here's the part that actually breaks you. A 13th century Norwegian king writes a book for his son, a guide to the world, its animals, its dangers, its wonders. In it, he describes a creature in the Icelandic seas so massive it looks more like an island than a living thing. He says there are only 2 of them in the entire ocean, maybe fewer. He suspects they might be infertile because, if they could breed, the seas would be overrun with them. 2. In the whole ocean, you've been swimming for centuries. You've crossed the Greenland Sea 1,000 times, surfaced near Helluland, near Iceland, near the Norwegian coast. You've never encountered another of your kind, not once. The biggest animal in the world, and you might be the last one. Centuries later, an Icelandic scholar will classify you as the leader of the Ilhavali, the evil whales. 10 species of monster whale that hate ships, whose flesh vanishes from the cooking pot, whose names summon them if spoken at sea. The ox whale that bellows and bites cattle in half. The horse whale with a red mane that capsizes boats. The red crest that dies of frustration if it fails to sink a ship. The mouse whale that has legs and chases sailors onto the beach. You're their king, the largest of the evil whales. But you're not evil. You're just big enough to be mistaken for land, and that's worse. The king's book might be right. There might only be 2 of you, and you might never find the other one. You eat by opening your mouth wider than a fjord and belching up food to attract schools of fish. They swarm in. You close your jaws and swallow everything. This is how you survive trap feeding. Scientists in 2023 will discover that real humpback whales do exactly this, sitting motionless at the surface with open mouths, and they'll realize the medieval Norse descriptions match perfectly. But feeding takes energy you're losing. The heather is heavier every decade. The barnacles are thicker. Your dives are shallower. The weight of your own camouflage is slowly pinning you to the surface. And you still haven't found the other one. Skip forward to the late 1200s. A Viking hero named Orvar Oddur Arrow Odd is sailing southwest through the Greenland Sea. He's chasing a troll named Ogmundr, a half-giant sorcerer who killed his friend. Ogdur is fated by a sibyl to live 300 years. He's already old and angry and looking for revenge. But Ogmundr knows he's coming. And Ogmundr has magic. The troll uses sorcery to summon 2 creatures from the deep. The Hafgufa, the greatest monster in the ocean, whose open mouth looks like a fjord in you. The Lyngbakr, the greatest whale in the world. You surface on command. Not because you want to, because the magic pulls you up like a puppet. Your heather-covered back breaks the waves. 2 massive rocks appear nearby the Hafgufa's jaws, gaping. Otter sees the rocks and wonders what they are. Then he sees your back, an island covered in heather. He sends 5 men to investigate. They step onto you. You feel their weight. 5 men in leather boots walking across heather that's been growing on your spine for centuries. Their footsteps are nothing, you've carried forests, but the sorcery tightens. Ogmundr's magic forces you down. You dive. The 5 men disappear beneath the surface. Heather rips from your back and floats on the water. The saga will record it simply, they did not see it come back up. Otter's deck officer, a half-giant named Vignir, explains what happened. The island was you, Lyngbakr, the greatest of all whales. The rocks were the Hafgufa's nose, and the troll sent both of you to kill them. That's your entire entry in history. 1 paragraph, 1 scene, 5 dead men, and a line of Old Norse that an anonymous Icelander copies into a saga manuscript by candlelight 300 years later. You are the largest whale in the world, and you get 1 paragraph. Skip forward. Centuries pass. The heather is so thick now that small trees have started rooting. The weight of your own back presses you into the water. Your dives, once bottomless, barely clear 50 feet. The barnacle colonies have spread across your jaw, restricting your trap feeding. You can't open wide enough. You're starving, slowly, under the weight of an island you never asked to carry. Viking whalers have started marking harpoons with their personal emblems, stab a whale, let it drift, claim the carcass when it washes ashore. They call this speardrift whaling. 1 blue whale produces 66 tons of meat, 3,000 lambs worth. You're bigger than any blue whale. They just haven't found you yet. Somewhere beneath the ocean, the world serpent coils around Midgard, biting its own tail. When it lets go, Ragnarok begins. The seas boil. Thor kills the serpent and dies in 9 steps from its venom. Every creature in the ocean meets its end, including you. You dive one last time. The heather tears from your back, the barnacles crack, roots rip free. For the first time in centuries, you feel the water on your bare skin. And you keep sinking. Past the light, past the cold, into the dark. You were named for the thing that grew on you. The tiny purple flower that covered your back and turned you into something you never were. An island, a trap, a symbol of the devil, a weapon for a troll's revenge, a boss fight in a video game 1,000 years later where players free you from chains and you don't leave because you've forgotten what freedom feels like. Your one scene in recorded history is a trick that drowns 5 men you never wanted to kill. The greatest whale in the world, reduced to 1 paragraph in 1 saga, written by 1 anonymous Icelander in candlelight. In Icelandic, the word for a beached whale is fallreki. It also means windfall, godsend, jackpot, the greatest stroke of luck a starving village could hope for. Your corpse, if it ever surfaces, would feed 3,000 people. Even your death is someone else's good day. But believe it or not, there's an animal with an even worse life. Watch that story next.